or not. So this is a kind of fair blue-white Lotus Field based control deck where we are using the synergy of like Consign to Memory plus Lotus Field plus Consign just being good in the main deck. We're main decking for Vizier of Tumbling Sands because it's very good with Lotus Field, it's very good with Ring, but we're not doing anything else. We're not playing Twiddle, we're not playing all of the twiddles in the deck and comboing off. We're just playing a control plan, which I think is something that is pretty interesting. We get to main deck for Force of Negation, we get to main deck Tune the Narrative Wrath Disguise, we get to main deck Prismatic Ending, Supreme Verdict, Solitude, Subtlety, and that's it. Got some annuls in the sideboard for for Boros, for Blood Moon and Ring. I guess also Affinity now too. This deck better against Affinity. Now I am really feeling the Eldrazi deck, but if y'all really want to see this one instead, let me know in the poll what to play next. Lotus Control or Improvise Eldrazi. Poll started. I'm gonna keep this one. Did you test Null Drifters over Viziers at all? I did think about Null Drifters. I didn't test them. I just tested the Viziers. The Viziers are just like so like to me. It's like I have 4 Lotus Fields. I have 4 Rings in my deck. I think should we just definitely have 4 Viziers? I think so. It's like just costs 1 mana to cycle. 2 mana to cycle, but then you get a mana back. Worst case scenario. Let's go ahead and keep that on top. This is our 3rd Dimir opponent in a row. Looks like it could be. 1 on top, 1 on bottom. Dimir has been like much more popular than every other deck in the leagues lately. It's been pretty interesting. And they have the Force, pitching a Snare. Maybe I should have forced the Preordain. Frog with Force of Negation up is just Splinter Twin. Yeah, I think I should bounce the Frog this turn. I think it's because Dimir gives you the illusion of control more than any other deck. You can really crush amateur players. Yeah, I think that might be it. Yeah, I want them to counter. I want them to counter my Sync, and so I can force and like tap them out. So I don't want to bounce right now. Like I remember when we were testing for PT Lord of the Rings, and the Dimir Ring deck kind of dropped in a tournament, like 2 weeks before, a week or two before we went to the testing house, and we were all like testing it just in leagues because it was before the testing house, and like our internal record like just in leagues like was crazy. Like everyone had like an 80% win rate with the deck. It was like it was really really ridiculous. But then we started testing it internally, and it was like our record like couldn't have been lower. Could not have been lower. So I could get untapped land here to play around, or me drawing Solitude. I do have 4 Solitudes. Okay, I think I'll just slam a Lrien Revealed now. Oh my gosh, this stupid Bowmasters. I don't know how I should have played Ring, but maybe they counter the Ring anyways. Yeah, but like internally, our record with Dimir was just like abysmally low. Like we had a joke that if you like a lot of people had like pet decks, they had decks that they really wanted to be good. Yeah, I don't know. I'm too busy trying to tell the story. But like during testing, like if you had a deck that you liked, that you wanted to be good, that wasn't performing that well, you just play test some matches against Dimir to increase your win rate. So we can Solitude the Harbinger potentially, but it's gonna be pretty tough to come back. Obviously, step 1 is resolving the ring. Doesn't seem too likely. Honestly, playing the Lrien Revealed might have just been the right play overall, which is kind of funny. We get to bring in 4 copies of Mystical Dispute in the matchup. We have some main deck verdicts too, which help a lot as well. I don't know if is it just 4 Force of Negations for 4 disputes? Probably is. We could also bring in some Rest in Peace. I don't know if I want the full 3 against them. I'm not. We didn't. They were playing Thought Scour, so they should have some combination of. Wait. Like, the Scour builds always play Oculus, right? I know there's so many builds, it's tough, but like they weren't playing Scour before when they were just on Murktide. So I would think that Scour means they have some number of Oculi. Kind of hard to say for sure. I think we do want to peel back on Wrath the Skies some. Like 2 Wrath the Skies probably. Yeah, Verdict I think is very good. It is pretty fun that like the Jeskai decks in general are just moving away from Wrath and playing Verdict. We're playing both in this build. Let's give this one a go. How do you feel about Narset? I like having access to a Narset in 75. I don't think she's like a mandatory sideboard card, but I've got one at the moment. Yeah, it's really nice that we get to play Rest in Peace. Not very many decks have that luxury. There are builds playing Scour before without Oculus. I mean, I know some people have played Scour, but for the most part, it was not very common, right? To play Scour and Dimir. Dispute is also very good against their deck, I think. Oh, in this matchup, yeah, I don't think I like Narset in the matchup. It's just pretty bad against Bowmaster and Frog. I mean, it's not the worst against Frog, I guess. Is Breaker of Creation X equals 3 a good replacement for 2 Ulamog, 1 Emrakul if I don't own? The problem with Breaker is you can't improvise it out very well. I would rather go up on Null Drifter. You could like play 1, but yeah, you just can't improvise it is the problem. I don't think I'm supposed to Subtlety that. If we draw land, we can Wrath the Skies it. We have Prismatic Endings. Okay. Now, if we can get to the point where we're just comfortably hardcasting these, that ends up being a pretty good point, I think, usually. It was 2 if you wanted the Turbo Murktide, basically not common but not rare. I see. So hard to keep track of all the Dimir builds. That's true. We could scam the Solitude with Consign, potentially. Would you ever keep in some copies of Force Against Murktide, like decks as additional counterspell? Sometimes I've done that, yeah. You don't it's better especially if it's like actual Murktide playing Blood Moon or Expressive Iteration. But they just kind of don't have many good things to target. Alright, we're gonna let this happen, I guess. Was worried about a Bowmaster. I don't know if it makes sense to just not cast the tune. I will go ahead and Island Cycle so that we have Hardcast Solitude up for sure. So probably just at the moment, if they do nothing, just play a Solitude end of turn, maybe trade it for a counterspell. It's nice that we can 2-mana Wrath the Skies this away, potentially. Maybe they go like play Frog, and we get to cast Solitude, they counterspell the Solitude, and we get to Wrath the Skies. That could be nice. 4 Delta, 41 months. Thank you, welcome back. Okay, it's interesting how quickly that resolved. Like the ratio of my opponent like thinking to how quickly that resolved was a pretty interesting ratio. Oh, sorry, I'll update the Mox Field. gonna slam Subtlety here, I think, with the Solitude resolved especially. They gonna consign my Subtlety ETB? I don't think I'm gonna consign their Surveil. Maybe we should go down to consign. They're mostly here to scam like our evoke creatures in the Lotus, but could possibly be better to go down to 3 and keep in like the third Wrath of the Skies. Okay, they put the frog on the bottom of the library too. And they're leaving back the Orc Army to trade with the Solitude. So we'll probably clean that up with the Wrath of the Skies at some point. The fact that they didn't keep the frog on top is like... It plays around my Wrath of the Skies like really, really well. Pretty unfortunate. Okay, they get rid of Consign, a Thought Scour. Then they unearth the frog. So I guess we, not that they are very likely to have a bunch of counter spells, but I think we should probably pressure those counter spells by playing this now. Just immediately resolves. I guess they have like all Force of Negations and like consigns. I think they should consign this ETB though. How do you feel about Wrath of the Skies? I think I'm not going to. I don't think that they have any fatal pushes in their deck post board, but it would be bad if they somehow like woke up, block here, push the Subtlety. But this is just a 2-turn clock right now. I think it's probably gonna be fine to just attack. Gingy, thanks for the raid. Welcome everybody. Did you finish Elden Ring? Probably have by now. Playing blue-white Lotus Field brew here. I think I'm going to go down a Consign on the draw. Don't know if I think I'm going to play the third Wrath of the Skies over the third Rest in Peace. I don't think I'm playing any Force of Negations. No, he hasn't finished yet. I know there was a stream title I was like, we're going to finish today, but then I tuned in and it did not look like Gingy was going to finish. So we do have Emeria's Call for Lrien Revealed here. We have Double Dispute, Verdict, which are all very premium. The Sand is very bad against Thoughtseize, though, which we haven't seen a Thoughtseize yet. It is also bad that we can't dispute a turn 2 frog, though. Thankfully, they don't have it this time. Just gonna get basic island. And then maybe end of turn we go like cycle Vizier, untap a land, cycle Lrien Revealed. He finished 1 run but cheated, so it doesn't count. How did he cheat? Do you play any other card games in my free time? I've been playing Balatro a lot. I've also have played a lot of Marvel Snap, but I've kind of taken a maybe I'm just off of it forever until they sponsor me again. But I played a ton of Marvel Snap. But I haven't played it in a while. Any snappers out there? How's that game going? So this is pretty mana positive with this Lotus Field. Seems like good to keep. Just cycle +1 mana. I bounced off on Marvel Snap when I saw... Oh, bounced on Marvel Snap when I saw $100 bundles, so... I did spend some money on it. Probably less than 100 total. But I was like keeping up with the grind and everything. It was very fun. I actually found Marvel Snap to, I think, get less fun once... Should I pending this? I think I should probably dispute first, because if they like counter back, I want to be able to untap and pending. Mimic Tier, Blasphemous Blade. Dude, Blasphemous Blade is so crazy. So we want to cycle first so that we could theoretically top deck a Consign here. So we'll see what we draw. And then I can... Oh, I guess, yeah. Now we'll definitely be cycling. So we can play Ring with Dispute up. If we draw a Consign now, it's a little bit awkward. Because I'm like, I don't know, like, do I want to play the ring with Dispute up, or do I want to, like, double Rampant Growth with the Consign, but... Any Force of Negations? GG. Yeah, I just like been so enchanted with this idea. I just have 4 Vizier in my Lotus Field ring control deck. So I'm glad that it seems to be doing okay. So yeah, let's just go ahead and wait on the ring tap. This way we can make a Bowmaster a lot worse. Can maybe upkeep. Draw 4. Yeah, things looking pretty good. We also one other thing about Consign is like we don't have that much life gain in the deck, so Consign just actually being a card that can counter your ring triggers is like weirdly relevant. We're gonna catch this one in, I think, to Lotus Field. Should I replicate? I don't think I should replicate. I kind of want my opponent to fight if they can. What does Vizier do? So you can cycle it for 2 mana. When you do, you untap any permanent you control. So you can untap your Lotus Field and go up a mana, draw a card. Yeah, I'll just dispute here. I just want to kind of trade any cards I can. I don't care if I win the fight. I don't care if I lose this fight. All right, so we'll discard 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll find another land when we tap this again. They got 5 cards in theirs. Nice to have double Solitude to not care about Harbinger. That much, at least. I'll put fair in quotation marks. How's that? This does tell us they likely have Oculus or Murktide. Yeah, I mean, they also like have to like have Oculus or Murktide to win this game, too. They have Consign. I don't think I'm going to Solitude the Consign. I'll just Verdict, I think. And tapping with 8 mana feels pretty nice. I guess we can now Wrath the Skies a little bit easier. So we go like, tap this for white, this for blue, tune the narrative. Wrath the Skies for 2 mana. Spend 3 energy. Play a ring. It's also fun that this build can fit the Emeria's calls in as the win condition a lot easier than other builds can. Graveyard's a Mire. Keep this. I think the 2 mana Wrath will catch on. Maybe. It's funny enough, it has just very much been on the decline lately. Emeria's Call. Spike will go any length to avoid my beloved Hall of the Storm Giants. Hall's a lot worse with Lotus Field. You like sack it early so often. But yeah, I don't know. One day we'll register Hall again. Okay, so we'll probably just consign our Lotus Field trigger next turn. Just play one of these tapped. I guess I actually want to keep these. I'll just grab both. Or one pending, one verdict. Let's do that. Very funny to just like, I'm just probably going to not cast either Supreme Verdict against Demir this match. Certainly a good place to be. Yeah, it's the first match with this build. Gonna try to play one of these. I had some Seachrome Coast in the mana base. I ended up excluding them. I can't remember exactly why. You cannot sync your own spells. Illegal play alert. Should still have 2 more Emeria's calls in the deck that I haven't found yet. It might be good to upkeep Solitude. I think my end of turn. Does the gifts within the deck from yesterday have any potential? Looked pretty sweet. I don't know. I mean, I think in theory it could, but like in practice, like just draw your tutor targets so often. Seems like probably not something that has a ton of potential. Okay, I don't care about that at all. So I go down to 5, then let's just draw 2 more. Play Solitude. I only have 9 cards left in my library. 2 of them are Emeria's calls. I have 3 total. We sacked 1 earlier. Should be okay. I'm gonna get the land. I think it could be okay here to just not get the land. We should be fine to like tap the ring 1 more time. It could be bad against top deck Bowmaster though. Okay, cycles on an Earth. Plays a Gloom Lake. There's our Emeria's Call. So we can cast that, and then that gives our Solitude indestructible, so our opponent can't Solitude our Bowmaster or Bowmaster our Solitude. Let's see if this resolves first. We know one of their 2 cards is Snare. The other card is a counterspell, so I guess I'll just double sync that. That's all it takes, baby. All right, so 3 Dimir opponents in a row. 3 wins in a row, too. Hopefully we can play a different matchup, though, for fun's sake. With a keepable hand. Consign would be really nice. Second Vizier would be really nice, but just a solid hand overall, I think. Let's see, 3 days ago in Eldrazi, we do have 4 main deck Consigns, at least. This is... yeah, the Emrakul build. This build kind of feels like it fell off a bit. You just don't like see these Eldrazi decks all that often. I do like the blue build we just played, despite losing to Affinity. I like that deck. Looks like they are still on it. Don't have too much of the sideboard for these matchups, but we have the main deck Consigns. Not exactly sure how they're going to go. Probably will bring in my Annuls. I'm going to go ahead and grab Fountain, so if I draw Consign, I can have it up for a ring. Just going to go and maybe bluff that I have some interaction. Any RCQs coming up? RQ for Modern next year? I haven't played RCQs in a while. This month is also very busy for me. I'm going out of town this weekend, then 2 weeks later is Vegas, then the weekend after I'm going out of town again, so I think I'm unlikely to play an RCQ in the 1 weekend I have in town, so I don't know. We'll see. I think the season might be over after that, too. Do you have anything that's good to Commandeer besides the ring? Obviously, Commandeer is nuts against the ring. This Kozilek's command is really good to Commandeer. Gotta watch out for these in the board. I'm kind of enamored with just hardcasting Vizier in the matchup. It's pretty cool. I think I'm most likely to want to cycle it next turn so I can try to just draw another one. Okay, after some deliberation, my opponent has decided to pass the turn. Oh, shoot. I guess I should have got my Surveil land first, so I had another look at a Vizier. That's okay. Drawing Force is pretty good. I would have kept that on top. Keep that on top too. Sure what's going on over there exactly. I'm gonna get them to play scared enough of this consign. One on top, three on the bottom. Good chance we like Wrath the Skies, clean this up next turn. Tron and Etron getting instant ramp still feels egregious. I mean, I agree Kozilek's Command is like an insane card. It is just... I'm on board. Is Emrakul? I have pro everything. It's not Ulamog, is it? Ulamog would be so gnarly. Could be another Kozilek's Command. It is another Kozilek's Command, so let's let this trigger resolve. Is Pending Lotus as awkward as I assume it is? I don't think it's that big a deal. You still have Pending on 1, on 2. It gives you more colors in the late game when you want to Pending something bigger. Yeah, I don't think it's such a big deal. It can be awkward, though. Alright, down to 15. So by Prismatic Ending this Talisman, they can't World Breaker me. It doesn't mean I tap out of Subtlety, but I think that that's okay. I can play another Lotus Field too, and what's fun about this is if they have Myco Spawn, they can't exile either of my lands this turn. What is fair, the title for? Just to indicate that this is a non-combo build of Lotus Field. They did have a double land to World Breaker, though. But I do just have another copy of the Ring. Kind of a bummer to not draw any consigns yet, but the good news is we still have 4 of those in the deck. So let's go play the Ring. And tap our Ring. But I forget that we always have to have this conversation about, what is a fair deck spike? Right, so they don't really want to Emrakul me here, I would assume. A second World Breaker would be not optimal for me, I guess. This is 6 mana for a Myco Spawn, so they're going to get rid of this Flagstones. That's okay. I could Subtlety this and like get rid of it for a bit. I don't know if that's something I really care to do. Or like I get rid of it because it gets shuffled away. I think I am gonna do that. I just have so many I will have so many cards with this Ring that just like 0 mana deal with a 3/3 is probably correct. Would I consider a copy of Nimble Obstructionist? Not really. We have 4 consigns. I don't know. It's not a very good card either. Now I do have to, hopefully I can find one of my 4 main deck consigns at the top, 20-ish cards does not get Emrakuled. Although I don't, so if they put this in the hand, they have 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, they'll have enough. Okay, there we go. Lucky me. So I don't really want to consign any more Lotus Fields. I think I'm just going to discard a Lotus and a Wrath here. And then try to replicate consign. Wait, what happened? Sorry, I only had to discard Lotus Field. I'm going to take 5, and then replicate consign and Solitude the World Breaker. Consign's kind of the best card in Modern. Fair decks play within the boundaries the game is built on. Mana cheating and free in action isn't really one of those. I mean, again, so this is the dialogue tree. I go, chat. I think fair decks are combo aggro. Sorry, I think fair decks are aggro, control, mid range. I think any of these decks is a fair deck. I think big mana and combo are unfair decks. This is my definition. You can have your own definition. And then I go, but I really don't want to debate it all stream. I don't think it's that interesting. I'm not interested in debating it all stream. And then we inevitably debate it all stream. I guess. So let's just skip that part, please and thank you. You can have your own definition that was always allowed, but I'm just skipping this dialogue tree. Where to put tempo? I tend to think that tempo decks are mid range decks. If I'm gonna, I think of Oculus as a mid range deck. I think of Murktide as mid range decks. These, I don't think most people do. But if you were streaming this deck, you could change the title. I probably will just save this Consign and then Solitude the Devourer. Is Tempo even real modern? We just played against 3 Dimir Frog decks, so yeah. Although we did beat all of them. It's gonna take 4. We had 7, so we should be pretty safe. Although I guess the awkward thing is I can't hold up Consign and Emeria's Call this turn. I mean, they only have 1 card in their hand. I don't think I need to Emeria's Call. So I'm gonna play this tapped. I'd really like to get the second Solitude down. If I was gonna go to discard here, I guess I would discard Ring, Wrath the Skies, Sink into the Stupor, Force of Negation. Yeah, Kindred's another type for Emrakul. I mean, all right, 3 mana getting tapped. I like how Lotus Field isn't big mana. Yeah, I don't exactly consider it, but again, if you're just trying to like debate lord me on fair, unfair, big mana, all this, I am not interested in having this conversation. You could just complain about me on Reddit or something. I don't know what to tell you. Isn't our only lost condition dying to Ring? Playing second Ring is just GG. I mean, also not playing it is GG. So I think we're probably okay. I think I don't know. It seems like we can't really lose. We can also consign our own Ring trigger. Probably we have 2 more consigns in the deck. Like 11 looks at 1. It's gonna just force this, I think. I might actually verdictify Emeria's Call first, although I guess that's not particularly likely. I could draw 7 with my Vizier. That's probably too much. So my opponent is down to 14. I have 8 plus 6. 13, so I guess we'll just go. Play one of these. Pass the turn. some number of Sync into Stupor from Nomno and Hinge. I think Sync is really good, and like one thing about this deck is you have a lot of air. Okay, so you have Lotus Fields, and you have Viziers, and you have Rings, and you have 26 lands. I guess 26 lands isn't too abnormal, but you have Tune the Narrative. So this is like 7 cantrips, and then Consign is also like air in a lot of matchups too, right? This is like a lot of times just a scam card. So with like 11 cards that are mostly like sometimes do nothing, the fact that Sink into the Stupor is like a spell that can impact the game and the board is something I like a lot. This way, you just have more action, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's doing a great job articulating, but that is my if that makes sense, that's my reasoning. We'll bring in Narset. They do have Shifting Woodland in their deck. They do have Emrakul in their deck. They do have Worldbreaker, although you can just exile Worldbreaker. Was Chalice not good for 75? I mean, I've got too many 1-drops, I think. You can play Chalice somewhere in the 75. It's an option. This is still an early draft, I guess. I probably want to play some Wrath Disguise, actually. I guess, is Wrath better than Prismatic Ending? I like that Wrath just cleans up all of their tokens, and I can even, like, in theory, just, like, get it up big enough to, like, get a big thing, too, especially with these Tune the Narratives. I'm not cutting the tunes. Could do, what if we do, like, 3-1? Let's do 3-1. Disputes could be good, too. Maybe this, I don't think I like the Subtlety very much. Just have all cast triggers. 1 Dispute. Could go down to Force of Negation. Let's submit this. Let's stop fiddling so much, I guess. But a good start for the deck. So no Consign for my Lotus Field. We do have the Flagstones, which kind of like ramps. This hand's pretty slow, but we are in a pretty slow matchup. I'm going to keep... We can cycle the Tune the Narrative, hopefully find a little bit of juice. Remember when Commandeer for subplay after so long stole so many rings? Yeah, the Bean deck was so sick. It was such a crazy card. I've been kind of wanting to think of... So, as far as like the Belcher deck goes, I've been kind of thinking about main deck Commandeer in that deck. Main deck Commandeer could be really good. It might just be like a metagame thing too, but it's possible it's just like been good this whole time. I don't know when I would be able to playtest that, but I guess just if you're a Belcher gamer, consider it. Yeah, the Bean era was crazy. That was probably like really the only time we ever just like so clearly, explicitly broke it like so fast. It was so cool. It's a good time to Mycospawn. Let me tune the narrative here. So I could Lrien Revealed for a Hallowed Fountain, and then Wrath the Skies and clean things up here. I think I will Lrien Revealed for a Hallowed Fountain, but I think that I'm going to want to leave up Annul for the ring, potentially. Let's see what we draw. So not a Force of Negation. Main deck Commandeer is real bad against red-white. I don't know, they have 4 copies of the ring. It isn't that bad, right? Oh wait, I totally thought I had a Wrath the Skies in this hand. Okay, sorry. I just totally thought it was in the hand. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the fact that they're just main decking 4 rings, I don't think it can be that bad. Okay, down to 12. Sorry about that. They have a second copy. Worldbreaker with Ugin's Lab. All right, let's YOLO dig for Consign, I guess. And probably go to game 3. Yeah, I'm just going to be super toasted. Another Worldbreaker coming next turn. Just for pace of play. Let's do a 2-2 split of Pending Wrath the Skies. And click submit. I assume, yeah, I decided to not play Null Drifter. I think that, like, the Null Drifter Consign plan is fine. I don't think it's particularly powerful though. So this hand has a ring. That's kind of it. Ring is very good against them. I guess worst post-war because they have Consign. I'm going to mulligan and then not really be so sure that that's correct. All right, looking for a non-Lotus Field hand. I don't see one. I would love to keep a hand with Commandeer and Consign, but we have no lands, so no keep. My opponent's also to mulligan, thankfully. So certainly going to keep this hand. I think I'm going to put back just Solitude and Force of Negation, the pitch cards. Maybe I could put back Emeria's Call and keep the Force. My opponent's thinking about their 6-card hand. They do keep 6. I think I'm going to keep the Emeria's Call so I have an answer to the ring. If my opponent plays Utopia Sprawl, I'm going to get Hallowed Fountain. Otherwise, we'll get a Surveil land. Thanks, good mailing. If I find myself missing Flage in this build of control, I mean, Flage is very good. So, I mean, but like the ability to ramp with Lotus Field is really nice. I think it's a potentially good trade-off. You can't play it all. Swapping a Singing Stupor Fountain with Monumental Hinge. Manamo. I mean, Hinge doesn't have that, like, almost any historic cards, right? You have Ring and you have Flagstones. And so it's just going to enter tapped most of the time. You could play a Manamo, but I think Sync is very valuable in your Force of Negation deck that has a lot of air. But you could. It would not be a big deal either way, I think. Grab a Haywire Might. Then they play an Eldrazi Temple. Cast that Haywire Might. Let's Surveil. I think I'm graveyarding that. It's possibly good to keep. I did lose pretty hard to Scepter Chant the other day. I considered playing it in the mono white Hinge deck, and you can like Hinge and find your Scepter. But it seems kind of bad against all the Dimir. So if they have a ring, we'll just pitch the Force of Negation and feel kind of bad about it. But I'm just going to play this out and try to hit another land and maybe hardcast this. Biz with the 31. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. Very bad matchup overall. They do keep a card on top. Thoughts on 5 Fairy? I mean, come on. You don't want me to hear. You don't want to hear me talk about that card. Michael Son's so brutal. Probably getting a Labyrinth or, sorry, Ugin's. The one that you sacrifice when you cast a big spell. They get a Misty Rainforest. I guess they're just going to get another Surveil land. Well, this might have been the best draw. Oh my gosh, I did not replicate this. I guess I just deserve to lose to Dispute, huh? I just realized a second later I'm opening myself up to Dispute. For like no reason. It'd be a funny way to lose. Do any Karn decks play Orm's Chant? I mean, Orm's Chant's not a very popular card. It sees a little bit of play. I almost feel like my opponent just had pity on me there. Not sure. At least we're immune to Worldbreaker and Mycospawn this turn. I want to hear negative thoughts on 5 Fairy. Teferi, Time Raveler is not playable in Modern anymore. I wish this wasn't the case. I wish it was very playable, very good, very common. So obviously it feels bad to lose the Oh, they had Flusterstorm, but we could pay. Okay. They mean Hero of Dominaria. Yeah, they do mean Hero of Dominaria. Did I say Time Raveler? Time Raveler is fine. Hero of Dominaria is not playable. It was once upon a time playable. It's not been playable for a long time. Will probably not be playable again ever. It brings me great sadness to say this. I did bring in the Narset, yeah. Let's pack it in. All right, 1-1. Okay, on the play against the Gigantha. I think I'll save the Emeria's Call for a possible Solitude for now. But you could play it for just Payless Life. Thoughts on Chalice back and non-energy control? I don't know. I'll say it is an option. I would probably sideboarded this kind of build. I'll get back to you. Yeah, replicating does not get blown up by Fluster because we still could have paid for one. So we should have replicated there. The Exile of Pending would not have been a bad card to have top decked against the Ragavan. Then they Thoughtseize me. I'm gonna go to Force of Negation. This Thoughtseize are pretty in on this ring. And then they're not very likely to have a lot of good Force of Negation targets otherwise. I guess we're up against Jund Saga here, huh? Nice. Best top deck. Vizier is just so cool to me in this kind of deck. Oh, another one. Okay, don't need. I guess I could look for a Consign, but I'm just gonna save it. It's always like playing control decks like this that have access to some cool nut draws. Oh boy. Oh boy. Don't play a Nethergoyf opponent into my Wrath Disguise. Would hate that. Wow, we did draw a Consign. So let's go tap this for blue. Untap the Lotus Field. So if I want to consign my Lotus Field, I can only Wrath Disguise X equals 1. I think that's going to be okay. Yeah, we would have gone there on the cycle. Oh, right, no. Right, you're right. Okay, we might hardcast Emeria's Call next turn too. They buy their Saga back with the Wrenn and 6. They play another copy of FOMO, this is maybe bad sequencing. I guess it looks like they wouldn't have had Delirium. They do poke me in for 2, and then I take 2 more to my ring-a-ding-ding. Draw Solitude. So I have the option to Emeria's Call, Legend Rule Ring, and hold up Force of Negation. Remember that the angels themselves don't have Indestructible. I think I'm going to cast Emeria's Call. It's a fun one, at the very least. I feel like Wrath for 2 is just much stronger there. Is it stronger than like double Rampant Growth and Wrath X equals 1 when you have a bunch of cards coming? I feel like I disagree, but it's a convo. Yeah, Wrath doesn't hit the Wrenn and 6. If it hit the Wrenn and 6, it's like less of a decision point. Another Wrath Disguise would be pretty, I tell you what. Sorry. Didn't find one. That's okay. I guess we can. Let me just attack the Wrenn and 6. We're gonna Legend Rule Ring or Verdict, but probably Legend Rule Ring, and then like just dig more for Wrath Disguise. The easiest answer to Wrenn and 6 in Modern. Emeria's Call. I guess I should probably just draw 5. I could just consign my ring trigger next turn, so I don't care so much about the damage, and just 5 more looks at one of our Wrath Disguise, or potentially another Vizier seems pretty nice. We didn't find one, so we will just Legend Rule, but I'll just keep this one. Okay, let me pack it in. So up a game against Jund Saga with FOMO. So the Rest in Pieces are probably pretty good. I'm going to bring them in. I'm going to cut 3 of my 4 Force of Negations and click Submit. Seems like a good thing to do. Well, keep it this one. We could lose if my opponent like thought seizes my consign. All right. 2 Lotus Fields, 2 Consigns. If we could do this every game, I'd be a happy streamer. I tell you what. Don't Tarmogoyf me, please. Oh. Remember, a lot of people had the attitude it was a win, not an if. Not an if Wrenn and 6 getting banned. It definitely felt like that for a long time. That it was just a matter of time before this card got deleted from Modern. Now it feels kind of silly. Okay. What do you think of Null Drifter in the Shulkers of Consign? I mean, like, Null Drifter Consign is slow. It's not that powerful or consistent. Like, Annihilator 1 is not that good. It's like okay if you get to do it. I don't think we really have room for like dirtily card draw win conditions in the deck either, because there's just like a lot of air already. But I don't know, it's not something I would want to completely rule out. Just main phase this. It's gonna have a Bowmaster, which I might just Supreme Verdict. Okay, definitely gonna Verdict now. Alright, 7 mana on turn 3, but need some Lrien Reveals and Rings, Emeria's Calls, Solitudes. A lot of the deck. Doesn't change my mind. 2 mana Planeswalkers should have ultimates. Well, I mean, I agree that Wrenn 6 is not a well-designed card. I'm on board. Why is Supreme Verdict Wrath of 2 also call Wrenn 6? If I tell you... Sorry. Wait, this will cost you $5 a month for the rest of your life, so be warned. But Wrath of Skies actually does not kill Planeswalkers. Yeah, well, you're not the first person today to think that it does. All right, you get to survive for maybe forever. I don't know. I mean, I need to play this. It's not even exactly good, but like I need to kill Wrenn 6 before they hit ultimate and then keep the Wrenn 6 in play. And then even then, it may be a difficult game. No Seagate. The problem is like we have to. I think you have to play Sink into the Stupor, Lrien Revealed, and Emeria's Call over those. Seagate's just kind of like I don't know. It'll have its moments. They took Consign, but Consign doesn't stop their Wrenn 6 ultimate. So they probably go like pick your poison, Thoughtseize, my verdict. If they have 3 lands. Because you told me Wrath of Skinwalkers is my 4th month. Thank you, Dunk. Gotta really work for it. The subs over here. Okay, so they attack me after they pick your poison. 5 cards in their hand still. I've not seen one of these in a while. Kind of nostalgic. Consign not being a stifle gets me every time. Yeah, it's a pretty common thing to miss. Okay, then they can pick up a land, and then they can pick your poison the angel if they didn't already have a land. So this game is maybe just lost. Like, even if I draw a ring, they can just pick your poison. But we'll take a draw step. They leave me with Verdict instead of Wrath. Maybe they also think this. I can draw Pending maybe right now. I guess we'll Solitude, but this is probably getting Thoughtseized. My wife's credit card got compromised. There was a bunch of charges to OnlyFans. She jokingly asked if it was me. I said the only subscription I have is to Aspiring Spike, my favorite Magic streamer. She said, I wish she just told me you were on OnlyFans instead. Thank you, Victor. She'll never understand what we have. So they're going to go up to 12, then down to 10. I guess I'm blocking. I've got some Prismatic Endings I could draw. Could draw Lrien Revealed, ring into something. They can't Thoughtseize. Oh, there we go. No Bowmaster, no Bowmaster, no Bowmaster. Nice. Not the best hits ever, I guess, but what are they gonna do? Ultimate Ren and 6 a second time? I may also run out of win cons, but we'll see. So I guess we're gonna consign the Ragavan trigger. I've never done this before. It's kind of fun. Replicate it. Anybody ever consign a Ragavan trigger before? It's my first time at least. I think they're gonna flip a ring here. I'm feeling it. No, rest in peace. Oh, I have that in my deck as an out. Right. All right, opponent, discard 2, pick your poisons. It's embarrassing. Emeria's call. I actually consigned the dash trigger so I could wrath it next turn. That was actually an option for us here, but they could have just Thoughtseize post combat and they know about the wrath. Yeah, they know my last card's wrath, so I don't really foresee that working. Snapcaster goes crazy. Everybody, we have 9 mana. What card do you want to top deck here? Sphinx's Revelation, Snapcaster Mage. What card do you want to top deck? We got 9 mana. Oh, they didn't Thoughtseize me? I guess they just forgot about this. Nexus does nothing. You just cycle it. It does nothing. Bonfire would be pretty cool. Oh, yeah, I guess, just Fireball would be pretty good here. Exile's a Subtlety, which they could not cast. It's a Tarmogoyf. Rest in Peace would be, I guess, a start to something here. Okay, so they do have Pick Your Poisons to retrace, but we get to probably draw a card, and then maybe we could draw like Rest in Peace right now. Well, we're fighting. Be a funny game to win. This is like, this Ren and 6 is crazy. This is the second Ren and 6. It's a 10 loyalty. Yeah, I need to add Bandfire. So I think I'm going to not Solitude, because if I draw Wrath the Skies, I want to be able to Solitude Ragavan. It should have a lot of mana. Subtchant used to play Urza's Rage in the sideboard for the Psychotog matchup. Draw it early, they had to discard stuff, draw it late, and they win. Wow. Urza's Rage is such a silly card. It's just like, it's one of these cards I look at, I'm like, this has like no text on it. Pyrite Spellbomb, damn it. I've been had. I've never seen a double-digit loyalty in Ren and 6 after an alt. I think this was the second Ren and 6, but yeah, it's a little abnormal. That's not exiling Rin in 6? I don't know. I mean, I have to deal with this Tarmogoyf if they're about to... Like, I would be just dead here if I didn't. So it seems like I took the right line. Yeah, we have like 2 more Rest in Peace in the deck for the Rin in 6. Although the pings are starting to become pretty crazy. Exile, tune the narrative. Cast it. No, not Springleaf Drum. Alright. Come on. Come on, game 3. Maybe it was a little bit of an early concession. Because we could sink the token. But it's just, it's going to be tough. I don't mind that one. Force Rin 6. We have 3 Rest in Peace, 4 Prismatic Ending. I know that we lost the game to the Rin 6, but it doesn't seem like we're low on answers for it either. This feels like a Commandeer matchup. We can get back our sacrifice lands to Lotus. What? I might be missing something about that comment. So let's see if we can surveil something bad to the top for Ragavan. I think that counts. Are we in a Rin 6 meta? Yeah, it's back. It's very popular again. I was hoping they play a Saga this turn. Fable's not so bad. It kind of plays into my Wrath the Skies. Yeah, commandeering Fable would be good. Didn't see a Fable for the first, like, 25 turns of this match. They scored a Springleaf Drum and a Pirate Spellbomb. Rin in 6 metagame confirmed. Rin is still a good card, but it is kind of surprising how little it sees play these days. Now, I would love, love, love to dodge a Pick Your Poison. Although maybe it's not so bad. We should play Darksteel Relics in our deck to play around Pick Your Poison on Ring. Maybe Blood Fountain? I mean, Blood Fountain is 1 mana. This is 2. I think we're still playing Ring. Could be good too. Yeah, I don't know. Probably not. This probably doesn't really make sense to Rest in Peace. Solitude is gonna be fine here. I'm like a little bit worried about another Pick Your Poison or Might, but Solitude seems fine. There's a Saga. Now, just hopefully they don't have the second Ring answer. That obviously makes everything a million miles easier. They have Bowmaster. We might evoke Solitude. We might not. Let's opt to not. Let's just opt to go to 9 and then Verdict. We didn't see any lightning bolts for. Oh well. Okay, probably can't afford to take 2 extra. It could maybe, but yeah, opponent hasn't really been doing a great job of having Delirium. I think I would like to Verdict instead of play my second Ring. It's a little bit worse against like Needle on this Ring maybe, but Okay. Could get Island to 2 now. I think I'll just get a tapped Fountain. I guess probably Island's probably better. Okay, so second saga being found. Tarmogoyf. We only have 1 more Rest in Peace in the deck. We do have 3 more Wrath the Skies, though. Nice. Just gonna draw 4 more cards real quick. If that's alright with y'all. Do I have mana to play this, untap it with Vizier? Doesn't seem like I do, so let's just go Wrath the Skies. Pending. Play Lotus Field. Quite the turn. Quite the turn. I'm gonna go ahead and Solitude this, I think. We have I think 4 Consigns still in our deck, so I'm not very worried about taking any damage to our ring. I'm probably gonna tap it in response to the trigger to just consign it. Right, they have no cards in their hand. We have 11 looks at one of our 4 Consigns in our upkeep. So again, feeling like we're probably gonna find one. There we go. seemed likely. I have not drawn enough yet, so 6 more. Thank you very much. We're ramping. Everyone loves a good hard cast Vizier. Do you have Thoracle? We have better. Emeria's Call. And we have Vizier Remedies. Win condition in play. Aren't y'all watching the stream? Can't y'all see my win condition? So my opponent can take my Consign now. But are they also minus 2ing? So now I have 1 Consign left in my deck. So I guess I'll just take 6. That was cool. Cool top deck from them. Go from 0 cards in hand to overloading not overlord, whatever the mechanic is. To 2 mode a Consign. That to Mount Doom. You know what? We might just be. Because I didn't find another Solitude either. Double check that you can't tap stuff with this. There's a Solitude. So let's like draw 6 cards and like Legend Ruler Ring, I think. And then probably not draw any more cards this game. Could look at what we're drawing. I see no point. Was keeping Consign for Bowmaster ETB correct? Maybe. We had Solitude though, so I don't know if it really mattered. They also kind of picked up on the vibe that they were F6'd. All right. 2-1. And I know it, like the stock energy decks kind of took it over, but I always felt like that build was pretty good too. I wonder if that build is good against energy. Probably don't have too many Collector's Cage mains left, but if there are any, I'd like to hear some feedback. Our second Eldrazi ramp opponent this league. Pretty, I mean, maybe not that unlucky because of all the consigns, but just not a very good matchup overall, I think. Do you have lab in? No worry about decking. No, we have win conditions. I'm not worried about decking. So I don't have to play Laboratory Maniac. I need to save this for a ring. There's a ring. Imagine drawing Tune the Narrative plus Wrath Disguise here. There's the Wrath Disguise. If I draw a blue card, I'll probably hardcast this. Oh, although maybe not that blue card. Let's play it. It's just like if we draw a land or a Lotus Field, it's just so nuts. I mean, I guess Lotus Field is a land, but land we get to go ring, untap the ring, untap it every turn. The funniest Beseiju I've ever seen. Although, dude, why do I have to run into the Beseiju build of this deck? Like, and the one time I play this deck, I don't know. Hope we find another force for the ring. Not quite that lucky. Thankfully, we have a lot of consigns still. Unfortunately, we don't have like a really good answer to their ring, besides just drawing a lot more cards than they draw. So I guess I'm basically always going to go Tune, Wrath the Skies, kill the Talismans here. So I don't really draw anything else too helpful. So I'm just going to do this. X equals 0, Wrath 2. Play Island so that if I draw a Consign on their turn, I can replicate it. Still no second Consign. Which version of opponent's deck do you think is strongest? I really like the improvised build we played this morning. I think that's a deck that that's one that I really like that most people don't. But I've been like really impressed with it in testing. It just like has the ability to hardcast a big thing on turn 3 sometimes. I think more often than we only played 5 matches today, but more often than you would expect. And I think that the build is very good. It's just like you also like I think our better Chalice deck too. Not that it's the biggest deal ever. Take the Labyrinth. Imprinting an Emrakul the Aeon's Torn. So I'm going to take 4 damage down to 6. I think I'm doing this to not discard so many cards. Pretty nice. Now I wish I had played Lotus Field so that I could just get like a little pressure on them. Is drawing 6 more cards here like too many? I would have to consign 1/2, which is kind of a problem. Any reason why I'm playing Field? Field of Ruin? This doesn't work with our like Lotus Field mana base. So we're gonna go to 1. Go to 1. We're playing Lotus Field. Oh, you playing Lotus Field? I need to have mana up for like sink into the Stupor specifically. Such a weird game. No, playing Lotus Field a turn. I needed to have the mana up, and I think also needed the ability to dig with the ring. Maybe I didn't need the ability to dig with the ring as badly as I thought I did. Definitely going to save a consign for a ring trigger, but shouldn't be that tough to do. I really need second Lotus Field. Alright, so they're taking 3 down to 12. I think their ring is my win condition. Especially with this Boseiju. The Boseiju is so funny here. Like, I just get to sink into the Stupor again. You should use 1 bounce land to pick up Emeria's instincts on your board. Vizier could use up the mana also. Well, it's also very bad to play a bounce land on turn 2 and then Lotus Field on turn 3. But yeah, you could play a bounce land. I like bounce lands more if you have Blood Suns in your builds. Something we have done before. How many consigns do I have left? I think I still have 3 more. No, sorry, 2 more. They can always copy a ring from the yard, stack with the counters. Yeah, I mean, when I say ring is a win con, I don't mean like it's going to deal the entirety of the 20 damage. We'll have to attack a little bit. So they're going after my fountain here. Let me see if I find another consign just off this. It's not very likely we brick. We'll just let that go. Does Strict Proctor lack effective targets in this meta? I don't know. I just don't like to play Strict Proctor in my Wrath Disguise deck, maybe. Consign also is doing the Strict Proctor thing better. It's also bad in your ring deck. Last season, what we do in the Shadow starts soon? How soon? Oh, I did get another consign. I think it's still like okay to not consign this. Like it just doesn't do that much, but maybe we should have been. Maybe should have. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Like they're just gonna cast Emrakul, and then I'll need to consign the cast trigger and then like Solitude it. Alright, so on their instep, we'll untap the Lotus Field and cast Solitude, I guess. Force of Negation, Kozilek's command after we tap out. Oh, I guess it's going to be uncounterable, though. So I could sink into the Stupor this, but I think instead we'll just get the Solitude down. Let this go. Brutal to run into the Boseiju. I don't know what to say besides this is not something I wanted to have to play against here. So why don't I go consign for 0 so I can get in, hit them down to 10. Then they go down to 6. Yeah, I think I can tempo them out here. Do I still have 1 more consign in the deck to dig for? I have 1 in the yard, 1 in exile, and 1 in the deck. Omniscience? They have another one. Copy Omniscience in response. I'm not sure what they're casting at instant speed here. Alright, I don't think I can beat the Woodland Omniscience. Let's go to game. Let's go to game 2. Alright, I'm gonna bring in Commandeer. Commandeer seems awesome. Rest in Peace seems nice. Could play Annuls. No Subtlety. Let's go down to Solitude. Let's play with 3 Wrath Disguise. Play the Ring. Disputes are probably okay too against their Portents, but not if they have Besage You. Let's cut the Verdicts and play 2 Disputes. We still have Wrath Disguise and Solitudes. Narset because they're on Ring. I don't know. We have like a lot of anti-ring cards, is the thing. Where you're like very good at answering the ring. But I'm going to bring in the Narset. It's very good if we draw a land. This Commandeer is also like kind of crazy. I think I'm going to try to high roll this one a little bit. We have 24 lands in the deck to draw into. I'm okay missing like at least one. I think I'm commandeering turn 1, so I'm just going to have 6. Hopefully they play a ring on turn 2. They might, if I do miss my land drop, they might like sense weakness here. We did rip the land, which is very much needed. I don't have blue mana up though. I'm going to keep this Force. Cast the One Ring. They never do when you want them to. It's not a land, but it could. I have a lot of MDFCs that it could find, and Lrien Revealed, so it could find a land. I also kind of need a card advantage engine if they don't give me one to commandeer. So we can consign Kozilek's command. Can maybe dispute back if they have a counter. Why didn't we cast Narset? I'm holding up mana, I think, for Microspawn. Should find a way to turn. Wouldn't hate a Wrath Disguise. They wouldn't have a reason to cast Ring. Maybe. I mean, I feel like we gave them a reason to cast Ring when we tapped out of blue, so I don't know if there's like much else we could do. Don't I have one in my hand? I have no idea. I have my hand is Consign, Commandeer, Wrath, Dispute, Force, Ring. I cast the Ring when I drew it. What are we talking about? Oh, Wrath Disguise. I do have a Wrath Disguise in my hand. That's what we're talking about. I don't know. For some reason, it was very weird earlier. I didn't even see it's in my hand. Now, I thought it was in my hand. Now I didn't see it. Sorry. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I should have already done this. That was very weird. I don't know. I don't. Too focused on the counterspell war, maybe. Dispute seems not premium versus the Soul Land Talisman deck. They have a blue X spell they're tapping out for. They're playing Portent of Calamity. It seems like I must play like at least some disputes against that. They also have their own disputes. Okay, one card in their hand. Probably not imprinting it. You may have your 3/3. Pretty tempting to keep the sync to pitch, but also hitting my land drops when I've got the active ring. Pretty important. Let's just go ahead and play Rest in Peace now. No Woodlands for you. I kind of don't know how are they a Woodlands Omniscience deck also with like no discard outlets in their deck. It's kind of crazy. Kozilek's Command? My Kozilek's Command. Wait. Oh my gosh. No. No. No, 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 no. I have protection from everything. I have protection from everything. I can't target myself with the abilities. I pitched a Force of Negation. Yeah, command gets better, but I was just so excited to steal it. It's such a cool card to steal. I'm itching to Commandeer. Yeah, in paper, you just spike on something today. I mean, this is a very easy thing to miss, right? The Wrath of Sky is less easy to miss. Yeah, just exile 3 cards from your hand. 3 on the top, 2 on the bottom. Save me the One Ring. Gotta refill that hand, I guess. Even if you could retarget, I like using Force anyway, since we were hitting hardcast mana this turn. I don't know. It was just a really sweet thing to Commandeer. Do they have 13 mana for Emrakul? I think they have exactly enough. Oh, it's important. Okay, nice. We may win this match yet. How many cyclers do I have left? 2 or 3? I think 3. Let me see 1 in the yard. Okay, that's nice. I guess I should probably kill this, replay Rest in Peace, and then also hold up Consign and Annul. Not the best Wrath the Skies we've ever cast. We with the 2 months. Thank you. Welcome back. No, oh my gosh. I don't know how the I don't know what's going on. I don't know, the mistakes keep cascading. I did X equals 2 instead of X. I think it's because I needed X equals 2 and I just paid 2 instead. But I meant to spend this 2 energy here. I don't know what's been poisoning my brain, but something has been. I could also have consigned the ring trigger. I think I'm just kind of gonna believe that we'll find something. Just take a breath. So I can go tune the narrative, Wrath the Skies, off Plains, Flagstones. I will pay my 4 energy this time, killing my other Rest in Peace, notably. So I think I'm going to sink into the Stupor this instead of Consign. This way I can save a Consign in my hand to consign my ring trigger because I need that to not die. You had the opportunity to do the funniest thing I did, huh? Cannot bounce ring. This cannot bounce your own permanence. Okay, so we'll consign this, I think. We could let it go also. Guess those are the options. Let's consign. I don't know, Dicho. My brain quite clearly doesn't work. I don't know what to say. Okay, so counter this. Draw Lrien Revealed. Draw 5. We do need a... we have 1 more Consign in the deck. If we don't draw a ring, we do find another ring. We also find a Solitude. It's nice that this ring says no Emrakul targeting this turn. They have another Consign. So Emrakul targeting online, and I need to find my last Consign or potentially do some solituding. This is why people hate the ring. These play patterns are awful. ... Thank you for the very nuanced and helpful comment. All right. So we have a lethal ring trigger on the stack. We have one Consign, 16 cards left, so 6 in 10 chance of finding that. Otherwise, we also can't Solitude our Solitude because we're going to 6. But we could triple Solitude to survive. Alternatively, I think I'm just going to take the 7 in 10 chance at... Or I guess 8 in... Wait, oh no! If I draw 7, draw 8, I go down to 2 cards in my library. Yeah, that's just too many cards. So let's go ahead and instead untap the Lotus Field, draw. I have Consign. I genuinely don't know what's wrong right now. Like why I'm short-circuiting so much. I don't know if this has literally never happened. And then I let the trigger resolve. I don't know. I don't know if I'm just tired or hungry or what. I don't think I've never played a game like this where I'm just so out of it.